Now, Christine, tell us your story about your journey here with your son, Benny.
Sure. So my son Benny, he is 4.5, and just around the time of his 4th birthday, we noticed that he wasn't himself. He wasn't acting right. He was tired. He wasn't really interested in, eating his birthday cake quite as eagerly as we would have expected him to, and he just seemed to be slowing down.
Did you notice like a personality change?
Yeah, just more quiet, more irritable, more fussy, not like the bright, outgoing, happy, fun-loving kid that we came to know over the course of his life. And he had been sick on and off since about January 2024. And we kept going into our pediatrician, normal childhood illness, don't worry about it. And it's just kind of more frequently. And, it made us worried. But, he's like, yep, normal childhood illness. He's our first kid. We haven't been through this before. And we love our pediatrician. And when we got to the point where we knew we were dealing with something really serious, we picked him up from school, from daycare, and we took him to his primary care pediatrician. And she knew right away that something was majorly wrong.
Those parental instincts are strong, right? You know when you know.
Yes.
So the doctor then recommends what?
Yep. So then she did blood work, and she says, I'm going to stay up all night till we get these results in on the computer. She called us at 3 a.m. and said, yep, it's looking like it's going to be leukemia. Go to Texas Children's Hospital right now. And so we packed up and we went.
That night?
That night.
And how long has
within
it been now?
15 minutes.
What month was that?
That was in May, so it's been about 8 months now.
And so how's he doing?
Yeah, so, it was rough at the beginning for all of us. It was hard to adjust to this diagnosis. It's a shock to any parent, as it was to us. And we just went
figure out how to get through
figure out how to get through it. Yeah. And
Did you have anybody to help?
Not locally. So we're not from the Houston area originally. So we called Grandma in Wisconsin, and I called Grandma, my mom, and I said, Grandma, Ben has leukemia. We need you. And she was here in Houston at her house by 1 p.m.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
super grandma for
sure.
sure.
We're speaking to Christine Molter here on 104.1 KRBE as we broadcast live from Texas Children's Hospital, getting her story about her sweet son Benny at the age of 4 earlier this year, diagnosed with leukemia. It is a power hour, so if you are feeling moved enough to donate money, it gets doubled by the Snowdrop Foundation this hour. Please text us at 51555. Text KRBE into the text field, and it'll take you from there for the donations. Now, how is the Houston Zoo connected to Benny's story and your story, Christine?
Yeah. So I'm a veterinarian and the director of animal health at the Houston Zoo, and I've been there since 2015. Okay. And so, as you know, the Houston Zoo is very close to the Texas Medical Center.
Yes.
And so, driving into work every day, you drive right through the medical center. So it's not only geographic proximity, but it's also a place where we partner. So the Houston Zoo has a very long-standing partnership, especially with Dr. Paul Ling at the Baylor College of Medicine, working on elephant endotheliotrophic herpes virus. It's a very beneficial partnership that we have because we were able to create the first vaccine for this disease in elephants and give it to elephants for the very first time just this year.
Wow.
And so I think
Elephant herpes has a vaccine?
Yes, it sure
Oh, thank
does.
God, it's close.
And it was created right here. It was created right here in the medical center with the Houston Zoo and Baylor College of Medicine. So the roots and the connections between the zoo and the medical center run really, really deep.
And how do you use the zoo for Benny's, kind of like a facet of Benny's therapy?
Yeah. So my office is in the same building as all of the hospitalized animals. And so when he comes to visit me, we usually, as long as he's feeling well enough, and we have patients that would enjoy seeing him, go down and visit all of the animals that are there.
So lovely.
He usually whispers words of encouragement. He says, I love you. I hope you feel better soon. Sometimes the keeper staff at the zoo will let him feed the animals.
Oh, that's wonderful.
There's nothing more therapeutic than feeding an animal.
What is
right?
your
so
son's
satisfying.
What is your son's prognosis at the moment?
His prognosis is good, and I think that's a real comfort to us and our whole entire family and everybody who knows and loves Benny, because we know that there's going to be brighter days ahead.
Just reminding everyone, Benny is 4 years old, right?
He's 4 years old.
And he's not here with you right now because I heard that he is somewhere else in this hospital currently receiving treatment right now for Texas Children's, correct?
That's true. Yep. So he has a port. So his port was accessed about 8:30 this morning, and we got his labs, and he made count. So yay for Benny.
Yay.
That's it.
When you say treatment, are we
Donate
talking?
in honor of Benny, Ryan. Let's give him a
Absolutely. All right. The number is 51555. Text KRBE to 51555.
And you'll get doubled by the Snowdrop Foundation.
Yeah.
It is a
Then
power
everybody
hour
can-
right now.
Yes.
A power hour
double.
right now.
Yeah.
Every
It counts.
donation is doubly effective. Every single dollar you bring in is helping children like Benny who are currently undergoing treatment, who may spend Christmas here in the hospital.
Right. Well, and so you're saying he made his numbers this morning.
He
and
made
what
his
does that
numbers
mean?
this morning, so that means that he's going in for a lumbar puncture. So that means like
Oh,
a
my
spinal chemo today.
Okay.
So hopefully he's in PACU at the end of that. But when I left him upstairs with my husband in the waiting room, they were waiting to get checked in for that. So he's probably having it right now or just in the recovery.
How
Another
is his-
question:
how is his
spinal,
spirits?
yeah, spinal chemo. That seems scary. Just
Yeah.
saying that, especially on a 4-year-old. Like,
it
what
sounds
does
painful. is
Yeah.
What it sounds like.
Yeah.
what
So
does that
his-
entail, or what is the process of that? Like, you guys
Yeah.
bring them in, and what do they do?
Yep,
How long
yep.
does it take?
So he's under anesthesia for that, so
Oh,
he doesn't
okay.
feel
Thank God.
anything, he doesn't recognize anything, and then he's also perfectly still, which is really important for the providers who are who are performing that procedure. And then they take a sample of his CSF fluid,
Okay.
and so that's the fluid that bathes like the brain and the spinal cord. So they check for evidence of leukemia there, which fortunately at this point in his treatment he doesn't have evidence of that there. And then they give him chemotherapy into that fluid space as well. So they're making sure that any of the little leukemia cells that could be hiding out in that space, they don't get to hide out there. That this medication is going to find them, it's going to scour them out, and they're going to make sure that there's no cancer cells left behind at the end of his
As a
treatment.
parent, do you have
Wow.
anybody like to talk to, like psychologically, how draining that has got to
Yeah.
be?
Is that part of the process here too that we don't realize?
Yeah. So we talked to other parents that are in the infusion room on the 14th floor, and that's a real source of support. I think the child life specialists are awesome.
Amazing.
My son loves his child life specialist, especially Miss Michelle. He looks forward to seeing her every time that he comes to the hospital, and so she's been a great source of support.
Can we just stop you right there? The fact that your child is going through so much stuff, but he is looking forward to seeing someone at the hospital.
Yes.
When we were
Yeah.
kids, did we ever
Yeah.
look forward to seeing our doctor? No.
Well, there's no
No,
place
but
like
that's
this on
what's
earth.
awesome about this.
Yes.
This hospital is so different from the normal gray, drab,
Right,
lifeless medical facilities that you're used to
Almost
thinking of
sterile
when you think of a
feeling.
hospital.
Yeah.
And child
This
life
is-
specialists are totally different than
this
the
is,
doctor.
yeah. amazing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So then what? So he sees Miss Michelle.
Yep, Miss Michelle, and then he gets his port access. She helps him through all the process, and then he goes on through whatever treatment he's getting today. So today it's a lumbar puncture that we talked about, and then he also has IV chemotherapy afterwards.
Is
so
that
that's a long day
all
today.
outpatient, Christine?
It is.
It is.
It
You can go
is.
home at the
Okay.
end of the
Yep,
day.
yep, we can go
wow.
home.
And he
This is a
understands
long
at
day.
4 years old. Does he understand what's happening? What he's going through?
Yeah, I think to some degree. I think he knows he's sick. He knows the word leukemia. I don't think he really understands all of the implications of the word cancer. I think he knows about the chemotherapy. So there's some books that we have at home that help him sort of understand. But I think really the child life specialists have been really amazing in helping to put all of this really complicated, very heavy stuff on a level
On
that
his
he
kid
can
level.
understand.
See, this is where your money's being spent. So right now, text KRBE 51555, and your money now till 1 o'clock is going to be doubled. So if you donate $10, it turns into 20. If you donate 100, it's 200. And this is all courtesy of the Snowdrop Foundation.
Which is fantastic because that power hour is really important. Now, Christine, I don't want to keep you here any longer as Sweet Benny is upstairs getting his procedure. So we thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
right.
sharing your
Yeah.
Of
story.
course.